one, go.
Good morning, Vietnam. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna get sued for that or not, but hey, what's up? This is Flex Wheeler and another episode of Flex for Life with my kind of looking. You getting ready for Christmas with that beard there, brother? I mean, it's kind of getting long there.
I just cut it the other day.
Really? Wow, man.
When's Black Santa coming out?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're getting ready for Christmas, but with my co-host Greg, um, we're going to take a very deep dive into GLPs, and the pros and cons about that. And you know, it seems um, it seems like people are really abusing, this way of losing body fat, not just body fat, just overall muscle mass.
Wait.
There's a lot of research coming out, and I've always thought that so many things are so new, there's not enough history to know the bad part about it. But we're kind of starting to get into that area where research is coming out and is showing some very alarming side effects from using these drugs. And I'm going to refer to my brain over here, my other half of my brain, Greg. Let loose.
Well, it's obviously they work. You're not coming up with terms like Ozempic face, and they're not signing people like Serena Williams and Sharon Osbourne and everybody else out there to endorse them if they didn't. And they've been around for decades. I mean, they were discovered in the mid 80s and they became widespread for type 2 diabetic use in the 90s. But it wasn't until they started to notice that people were losing weight on it that they started to look at other options for it. But yeah, the problem I have with it, it's almost like a pill form of Weight Watchers, where it's just, Weight Watchers, you can eat whatever you want as long as you stay within your points. So you can literally eat popsicles all day long. If you stay within your points, you're in the program, and supposedly they lose weight on that. On this one, it slows down gastric emptying, and you're not as hungry anymore, so you eat less. So I'm going to throw this out there, I do fully believe there is the fat gene. There are people who are genetically predisposed to be fatter.
Of course.
So we're going to get past the whole fat acceptance stuff, which I might bring up a little bit in this. But if you eat less, it's the calorie deficit thing. You're going to lose weight, but if you don't do it the right way, you're not just going to lose body fat. You're going to lose muscle mass. If your nutrition is off, you're going to lose water weight. That could lead to its own problems. And you're also going to lose calcium from your bones. So your bones are going to become weaker. And you always said I'm a little bit more blunt about certain things, but
yes, you are.
I fully believe that if we're going to get down to brass tacks, being overweight or being fat is a choice 100,000%. And if you don't think so, all we have to do is look back in history in countries or areas where there was famine or forced starvation. You can't tell me that there weren't some people in those areas. Let's say the Bataan Death March during World War II with the prisoners of war, the Japanese, that they took the prisoners of war, either Allied forces or Filipinos or whatever. They were basically skeletons when it all said and done. You can't tell me some of them weren't fat to begin with. They were just starved to death. So they were given no choice, but they lost weight. What GLP-1 drugs do is they keep you from being hungry and they keep you fuller longer. So you lose weight that way. And in those cases, they were malnourished. So they lost muscle, they lost fat, they lost bone density, they lost water. They lost weight. They were skinnier. They were a dress size or two smaller. But is that
or two? Yeah, a few.
Right. So
a few sizes smaller.
That's kind of where I go with things. Plus, we already know that even these manufacturers like Lilly and everybody else, they'll tell you straight off the bat. They recommend, if you're going to start utilizing it for weight loss, that you add diet and exercise changes to your life. The majority of people are not doing that. It's been reported. And they already know that 80% of the people that get off of these drugs gain every single ounce back. So now you're basically on almost a situation like a statin or a beta blocker or anything along those lines when you're going to be on it forever. Is that something you want?
You know, it's similarity with the what is it called when they have their stomach shrunken?
Oh, like a lap band or
Yeah,
gastric bypass. Yeah.
and if they don't stay on their diet, they gain their weight back. Same thing as people who go and have their body fat sucked out, whatever that's called,
No,
lipo.
lipo.
If they don't stay on their diet, they gain all that weight back and more. So listen, it's just, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I use things to help achieve a look, but man, we worked, and it was a compliment to our hard work. I think the big problem now is like what you said, people are just using this, and being that it's working, they don't think they have to do anything else. It's like I've always said, you get these people who are like, "Oh, I'm back to my college weight," but they don't look anything like they did in college. They're not as muscular, they're not as curvy, or I'm back to my high school look. But there's a drastic difference to that. So um
We're not talking about gray hair either.
no, no, no. I mean, just if any person don't believe me, take your picture now and go back and look at what you're looking like in high school if you're still to that close to that same weight. It's going to be different. Your muscle mass is going to be different. The body fat and muscular tone in your face is going to be different. And I feel sorry for these people because yeah, I know it's a struggle. I mean, I deal with it now. With struggling of not eating freaking spaghetti all day,
Oh, that sounds really
knowing that I'm gonna. That's what me and Dexter and Efren we ate at a amazing Italian restaurant this weekend.
fun.
Shout out to everybody who competed in the Masters and the winners of all that. But yeah, it's difficult, and I come from a lifestyle of living that way. So I can imagine a person who's never had that discipline. Hey, this is an easy fix. Uh, but it's not an easy fix. It's a jump start. But you have to take that work on, afterwards. You have to put that work in. And just it's sad that a lot of people are just not diligent enough to put that work in to make sure that they're going to live a healthy life and do what's necessary to keep some type of muscle tone. Because what I see is a lot of these people, their faces, like it's like when we dieted down and we have the skeleton face, but it's still highly muscular compared to like, when I have a skinny face now, it's a skinny face
Right.
versus their face where there's no body fat, but there's also a loss of muscular and tone in their face. And I'm sure when they take their clothes off, there's a lot of droopy skin, a lot of hanging skin, and a lot of muscular tone that's lost. Even though they might look better in clothes, I, for one, I'm one of those people. I look better at in clothes than I do with my clothes off right now. So I get it. It's just listen. It just takes discipline. You got to be disciplined, and if you apply that same discipline that you do to go into your 9 to 5 or whatever job you do to take care of yourself, if you apply that same discipline to anything else you did, you'd be successful. Um, but they're just not being disciplined, or I don't know if they're being misled. Um, but like you said, Lily is flat out telling them that they need to, change their diet and add some type of exercise to it. But I think people are just lazy
Yeah.
when it comes down to it.
Well, I think you know my answer on this one. If we were to be asked, do you think it's lack of motivation or being lazy or not having the guidance to begin with, or a combination of the two? Um,
Combination of the two.
think so because I wonder how many people would actually. I mean, like I said, I had my 35-year high school reunion over the summer, and there was a number of people who said they were on the skinny shot. That's how we were marketing it anyway. But they weren't doing anything else. And these are people who were if it, knowing what you and I know now, looking back, you know that if they lost their activity levels, they're going to plump up a little bit.
Of
But they
course.
were active back then. They were, either cheerleaders on multiple squads and played soccer or something along those lines. So we were very active individuals back in the 80s and 90s as kids.
Yeah.
Are they someone who maybe they just didn't know what, because I was getting asked questions left and right. What should I do? How should I start a workout? And do I need to join a gym? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm wondering if the motivation was there, or maybe that's just our generation, where we had the background. So it's a little bit easier to bring it back on. Because I know the boomer generation, the baby boomers, I mean, they're getting up there. They're, 70s and 80s now. But I'm seeing a lot of them show up at gyms lately also.
Yeah. I can't say in today's age with technology that the knowledge isn't out there, because you can just simply type it in on your computer or use chat GPT basically to give you a full-blown diet and workout. So the knowledge is out there. I just listen, even ourselves, and I know you're still locked in, loaded with training and everything, but I'm sure still some days you're like, I don't want to do this,
Every day.
but you pushed and you do it.
Right.
So it still comes down to that discipline. Like, you know, me and Ty were talking, the other day just about our lack of doing things and being honest. And I'm like, knowledge is enough. One must do.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that knowledge, but you still got to go in there and do that work. And there lies everything. Oh, geez, I got to pick my kids. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, tomorrow. And that tomorrow becomes I'm all right, and you just get comfortable. A lot of people will make excuses. Oh, she looks like that now. Wait till she has a couple of babies and she's my age. That's an excuse. You just settled in to not wanting to put in that work. There's plenty of women out there to have, children that and they're up in age and they look absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But they put in that work and they're dedicated. So I wouldn't really lean on a knowledge part, because you don't even need a dietitian these days. Truthfully, you don't. You can just type that stuff into the computer and it'll tell you everything. We live in that world now.
Well, I think you would. I think if you're really being honest, you'd know what you could eat and get away with.
Sure. I mean, everybody. I mean, hey, Thanksgiving is coming up. I just made a commitment. Like, wow, I'm really gonna have to go and train hard after this, because I'm gonna let loose, man. I'm gonna enjoy myself. So, what am I doing? I'm accepting the foods that I'm going to eat, knowingly that they're going to cause an adverse effect on the way I look and put on extra weight. And I'm locked in, like, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to go and work hard afterwards, which I need to be working hard before anyway. I just do. But I'm accepting, and that's what people do. They just, even myself, I'm going to the gym. I'm getting in shape. Something happens. And when I get back home from traveling, I'm like, oh, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. And then it'll be a month. And I'll be like, I'm okay. And then I'll be pissed at myself, like, God dang, you fell off the horse, jump back on it. But a lot of people don't have that other switch they flick on and like, let me get back at it. It's just like they settle in and accept that's just the way they're going to be. And this is the way old people have to look.
Yeah. Or not even old people. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. There's a lot of things that help people not be in shape. The food we eat, I mean, nutritional value of the food we get now is absolutely horrible compared to back in, the 80s and 90s and 70s. Our food was great. We had real food. We had real vegetables. You didn't have to worry about if your food was made in a laboratory or not. And they don't even really tell us. So how do you know? So yeah, there are a lot of bumps in the road that you have to go through now that you didn't. But hey, listen, it's a life and death situation. Seriously, I don't think anyone who's overweight, including myself, is happy when you take your clothes off and you look at yourself and you're like, what happened? Yeah, I'm telling them myself.
That's the ultimate truth, though, isn't it?
It truly is.
And you can argue with it.
You harshly said it all the time. We train because we want to look good with our clothes off. I mean, that's somewhat true because yeah, we're basically butt naked on stage.
Right.
But I think even on a personal level, everyone wakes up in the morning or at night and takes a shower or a bath, and they have to stand there and look at themselves naked. I mean, how many people are actually satisfied, or how many people just dismiss and say, "Oh, this is just a life I have to
Or how
live."
many people just glaze by it and not even look because they're not worried about it until it's time to go buy that new bathing suit for the summer.
If they're gonna
That's the
buy
big one,
one,
right? You might look fine in your business suits and everything else because you can cover things up and accessorize properly.
accessorize, yeah.
But the second that you have that vacation coming up in the Bahamas, well, exactly, not everybody gets to do that anymore. But then summer comes around, pools and shorts and tank tops are coming out. Things change a little bit more, and um, to say my wife dreads those times with her background and everything else, that's got to tell you something that it could be a brain fuck.
Hey, bro, listen. It's probably been 2 years since I got in my pool in the backyard,
Really?
simply because I don't want my neighbors to see what I look like, and I just refuse to go out there and get in the pool. And yeah, am I a little bit harder on myself because I've fallen from a bigger ladder than most people? But still, it bothers me. So imagine a person who's just never been in shape, like you said, until it's time to wear that bathing suit. I don't think a lot of people do that no more. They just put on a baggy shirt and shorts
Yeah.
and they get in the pool. They don't even do that anymore. So I mean, yeah, we're all admitting that it's rough and it's difficult and it's life that comes and hit you. But man, you got to be disciplined. This is about life and death. I even told my wife the other day, man, I'm like sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got to get in the gym, and then my daughter came down, Pearl, who's always my great training partner, and we had to go shopping, and it was like 6 o'clock, and Pearl's like, "Oh, I'm kind of dehydrated, let's go tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm going now." And my wife's like, "Really? You going this late?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going now." She goes,
Yes.
"Well, just put it off tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow in the morning." I'm like, "No, that's what I always do. I'm going now." And I went to the gym and had a good workout. And I had a good
That
workout
mindset's
yesterday.
not normal.
I agree. I
Your
agree.
mindset, that mindset you had, not normal. I mean, looking at the numbers right now, this is pure obesity rates. This is not overweight. The age cohort of 20 to 39, 35.5%, according to the census. Gets worse. Going down, ages 12 to 19. This is from the late 2010s. 20.6% of kids, adolescents aged 12 to 19 are obese in the United States. Ages 2 to 5, 14%. So you can't tell me that. I mean, there's a little bit of nurture there, right? Because I mean, obviously they eat what the parents put in front of them or what they're
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's got to be a little bit of nature there as well, as far as the genetics involved. So,
Sure.
um, I mean, if we go back, I think it wasn't even touching those numbers. It was a fraction of those numbers 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, because we had to get out the house. So I remember my mother saying, "Get out of the house," and
Oh,
and be back before the
we had
lights are on.
commercials. So, are your kids home yet?
Yeah,
In the
exactly,
80s,
exactly. At what, 11 o'clock at night?
as we were
So
drinking out
we
of
had to get
hoses.
out of the house. We played sports. I remember. I can't remember what year it was when Darius was in high school, but it was hard to fill up the football team. And I'm like, what is this? Normally you have everybody coming out for the football team, but just kids aren't active anymore. You got video games where they just sit at home and play. And again, these fast food restaurants, they market towards our kids. Ronald McDonald, be Burger King with a little hat, all that stuff. So you got your kid, screaming in the back of the car, "I want McDonald's, I want Burger King."
Well, I'm going to take
um
that one step further and make it worse. You and I, well, you're kind of a 50-50 girl dad. I'm a 100% girl dad. Girls staying active and being in sports. I mean, it's my twins play travel hockey, but it's hard to fill those teams because they're at a
Yeah,
higher level, obviously. But they'll take anybody at this point just to fill those teams. Also,
yeah,
they've
yeah.
done that a few times. There's not as many.
Mm.
Um, and girls, I mean, they've done the research on this. At the age of 13 is when girls tend to just you see a lot of them when they're younger, right? I mean, there's intergender squads because there's no real, 6 years old. There's really no need to go and really separate them at that point. They're playing basketball or soccer.
Girls are normally stronger than anyway.
Yeah, they're probably listening more too. I mean, my all three of my girls were doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu and wrestling against boys back then. But
Mm.
as time goes on, for whatever reason, there's two things that they've shown that girls tend to gravitate away from. One is obviously sports. Funny enough, the other one is science and math type of subjects, strangely enough.
Interesting.
And they
Interesting.
see that 13, puberty age, when things start to hit, that's when they see them gravitate away from those things.
Listen, let's go deeper. Do you think it has to do with the food, the cereal, the red dye, research that shows that it messes with the brain, it messes all the food that we have, the candies that we have with all these
As far as
artificial
obesity
stuff.
or getting away from
Just
sports.
affecting the brain and just not wanting having kids be as aggressive and intelligent and stuff like that. I mean, you got it to where
I'm sure it factors in, but I mean, the 80s and 90s, it didn't. I mean, we're eating all kinds of crazy crap too, and
was,
kids are
but I
doing.
don't know, was red and yellow dye, was it back then?
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's all the Cheerio, not Cheerios, but like Fruit Loops and all those, and ice creams, and you can't tell me you didn't have a bunch of ices back when you were a kid, also from 7-Eleven. I mean, that's
Honestly,
anything.
no,
Oh,
couldn't afford it.
well, anything red. I mean, Twizzlers. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we.
yeah, yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm sure it factored in slightly, but I mean, we had parents that, like you said, kicked us out of the house or expect us to be out of the house. We're probably what they called latchkey kids, right? So both parents work, so we just there was, and we had 3 channels back then too, so it's not like we can sit on our phone and
No,
watch wherever we wanted to. So we left the
dude,
house,
no,
got on our
no.
bikes and went and did things.
Yeah, yeah. No, it'd be absolutely no way in hell that we just sit up in the house.
There's nothing to
No
do
way.
anyway if we
Oh,
wanted
shit,
to.
you better go out and find something to do. We go out and find roly polies, those little
Oh yeah,
black bugs out roll up. We play with those things, you know. We found something to do, freaking eat dirt, you know. It just
I don't know. Maybe it's the. I mean, but and even back then, that same research they went back decades that girls at those ages tended to gravitate away from. They didn't really do it on STEM so much, learning wise, but sports. I mean, you saw girls' sports start to, they started to not do as much of it as they got in their teens. So I don't know
yeah.
if that was nurture there, but I don't know. I mean, now you could see it's these things and the fact. I mean, I just saw. I mean, I was just on the a call with Farard the other day about our hemp stuff and how we're getting on Walmart.com. Walmart just opened up 4 million square foot distribution centers in just the United States. And they've changed their distribution process from order to delivery. It used to be 12 steps, now it's 5. So they're getting towards basically everything you order on walmart.com will be same day delivery
Yeah.
because it's not 2 days is not fast enough. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember when I was a kid, you ordered something out of the back of a magazine, it took a month. You almost forgot about it and there's a big surprise.
Yeah.
Now it's, if I don't get it in a day, that's too long. Um, you
Yeah.
know,
I
I get my
remember
food delivered to me.
my great cousin back when I was 9 years old. He was in his 90s. Like he helped build like Fresno, didn't have a high school education and just built houses. And I remember back then he was like, we're living a hurry up world. You know, and this is back in the freaking 70s. And he's like, we live in a hurry up world. Everybody wants this now. They want that now. But look at us now, like you said, this single device right here has absolutely changed the world. And I jokingly said it millions of times, our smartphones has made us dumb. I can't remember a freaking phone number if I tried to. I literally can't remember my kids or my wife's number if I had
You can probably
to
remember
have
your home phone number from when you were a kid, though.
Actually, I remember one phone number. I don't want to say whose number it was, but I remember one phone number to this day, but I don't remember my own
Oh.
number. Now, obviously, I'm a little different. I don't remember a lot of things. Uh, but definitely our iPhone has made us a lot dumber.
Well, I remember one of the
Once,
greatest movies of all time was Shawshank Redemption, and I remember when Red, not Red, one of the guys got out early. He was young. He got paroled, and he was writing a letter back to the other inmates, and he said the whole world went and got itself in a big goddamn rush. This is this he got out in the 50s.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But that kind of goes back to the GLP-1s, right? I mean, it's not just I mean, it's happening fairly quick for a lot of people. They lose weight fairly quickly on it, and it's easy. But the one thing I hate about it, and I'm going to put this up, they termed the they've termed the phrase Ozempic face, and this is kind of what they're talking about. And the one thing I can say, even when we diet down for shows, or when Neely diets down, or cuts weight for a fight or whatever, that's the first thing people notice is our faces before anything else.
of course.
And it's not always the most healthy looking of things, because even though we have the muscle there, the cheekbones are always the thing that kind of show,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Looking back at your old ones, I mean, you had you can almost see your tongue coming through your cheek, like the musculature of the tongue.
Yeah,
And you see here, it's the sunken eyes, and they keep showing it with Sharon Osbourne and all of Ozzy's kids that are on it, and everybody else. It's that sunken in look that they're seeing in Hollywood right now, because those people are front and center all the time. And you have old pictures of them that you could compare it to. And I don't know if that's, I mean, you've trained people, I've trained people to lose weight, to get to a realistic weight and sustain it long term because of lifestyle changes. They're cutting out alcohol or changing their food, adding activity on a regular basis. They don't have that look.
no. No, because they're still getting the nutrients that they need. They're still getting the the protein and the caloric intake that they need. You're just basically what you're doing is you're still feeding the body. Dieting. A lot of people think dieting means restriction of food. Dieting just means watching what you eat. So basically, you're giving your body just barely enough to survive. I actually reverse it and I say, your workouts is going to demand the food that you eat. And then after that, I don't want your body to absolutely have anything. It's going to just feed on itself, which is the body fat. And then we'll start to raise your caloric intake as it gets closer to a desired look. But no, it's very different. Like I said before, it's almost like I won't use that terminology. That's not a good one. But yeah, you're just stripping and ripping everything out of the body, instead of cutting down on certain foods and bringing activity in. Your nutritional value is still up there. Your vitamins and minerals are definitely still on top. And it seems like what these drugs are doing is just ripping everything from the body, healthy and not healthy. And hey, listen, if you're really struggling or if you're really obese, I get it, to help you start there. But I think what we're really saying is this isn't a save all situation. And this isn't a situation that you can be on for the rest of your life. And you do have to learn about nutrition if you planned on sustaining a good life or sustaining that weight that you lost. You're going to have to learn how to eat differently. Um, and that's happened with like the Biggest Losers and all those shows, because
Oh.
they'll eat a certain way, but it's not a certain way that they can eat for the rest of their life. So
Mhm.
when they go back to eating their normal foods, or I don't know if I can be sued by the Jenny Craig diet, but do you have these designer diets that they eat for a while, and they get this desired look? Then they go back to eating their old food, and they blow back up, and they wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, just to put it out there, Campbell did a study, and I did a report on this once, where he took two groups. One restricted calories, like 300 calories a day or whatever, and they both added exercise. The other one added 250 calories a day of just protein. So they actually added food to their diet and added the exercise as well. Both of them obviously lost weight, but the group that added the protein lost more body fat as weight.
Mm,
And he
yeah.
basically came to the conclusion doing a meta study that the women who tended to look healthier and stay at a what he considered a healthy weight and body fat percentage later in life had lifestyles where they ate a lot, but they also were very active. And we're not
Yeah.
talking about just, I mean, this is going to extremes. We're not talking about 2 or 3 days a week going to Pilates, but
Yeah.
they did weight room work. They went to the gym. They did workouts there. They went out and did hikes. They went out and swam. They
Yeah.
kayaked. They did a lot. They played basketball also. So
Yeah.
basically, he said they moved a lot, but they also ate a lot. But they
Sure.
also had lower healthy body fat percentages, and better health markers in general, which
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Because their bodies is because of their activity, their bodies is requiring a certain caloric intake,
Yeah.
but they're only eating enough to meet that intake. I mean, it's like you said earlier. I remember somebody who said that to me a long time ago, Neil Spruce. He
Mm.
said, basically, if you cut down, if you know, basically, if you eat less than you burn, you'll lose fat. No matter what it is, if it's just ice cream all day, as long as you burn more than you put in, you'll lose weight. Now, it depends on what type of weight you want to lose, as far as going into eating more healthy or whatever. But yeah, that's,
Well, that
that should
was
just be obvious.
it should be, but thanks to Weight Watchers, it's kind of not as obvious. And these GLP-1s have kind of exacerbated that even more because now they don't even have to worry about counting anything. They just will eat less anyway because the drug allows them to eat less. They're not as hungry. But now we will get to the fact that we actually are very heavily involved with a company that does sell this product, but we have programming for it. But there are I mean, there's no, I mean, I forgot the name of the physician in Bigger, Faster, Stronger that said this, but he said there is no safe drug. There is no safe drug. There's just a risk to benefit ratio. Every drug has side effects. And some of the longer term or intermediate term side effects with GLP-1s, I mean, there's gastrointestinal and kidney issues. So there's severe dehydration. Again, if you're not eating or drinking on a regular basis or enough, you're going to get dehydrated. And there's other issues that come along with dehydration. I mean, you know full well if you're not drinking enough water for your kidneys, there's going to be issues there, especially
Definitely.
if you're not getting the right nutrition as well. Now they're talking about there's actually gastrointestinal damage that they're finding because of prolonged and severe vomiting that has been caused by the GLP-1 medications. Now that's more the extreme side and prolonged side, so you'd have to be on for a while. Intestinal blockage, which is rare but happens because it slows things down intestinally. Pancreatitis, gallbladder disease, thyroid cancer has been linked to GLP-1 medications, and that's going to take a while to get to. It says, and even in the data, but it's a possibility if you're going long term. Which again, if you're not changing your lifestyle, you're going to have to if you want to maintain the weight. Nutritional and mental health impacts. Obviously, if you're not eating enough and you're not eating the right foods, you're not changing that part, you're going to have inadequate overall nutrition. We're talking vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fiber, which can lead to colon cancer issues if you're not getting enough of that. And they're actually attributing mood changes. And I don't know if that's going along with the hunger side of things,
I'm sure.
but your dopamine levels have been shown to be lowered by GLP-1 meds. So you're skinnier, but you're shittier as a person, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think all of us who's been on a really hardcore diet knows that you're gonna have mood swings.
Oh yeah, yeah. Take it from us.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I remember I had coworkers when they heard that I'd started getting ready for a show, they're like walking away from me.
Yeah, I can imagine you, dude, because
Yeah,
you're
that's
full tilt not when you're not on a
when
diet.
I'm fully
Yeah,
fed.
yeah,
But that's kind of scary stuff, though, right? I mean, like I said, there is no. I mean, we will fully attest the fact there is no. I mean, there's side effects of the vitamin C and aspirin,
sure,
and
sure.
we've both taken things on a performance enhancement level, both over the counter or not. That even the over the counter stuff has. I mean, I remember the original creatine that came back out in the '90s gave me severe diarrhea
Oh yeah,
before they
yeah,
really started to formulate it well.
yeah. No, there's if you abuse anything, there's going to be consequences. You can drink so much water within a
Yeah.
certain hour and kill yourself. You can drink so much alcohol within a certain amount of time and kill yourself. You can take too many aspirins and die. You can take too many birth control pills and die. So anything on its extreme is going to be damaging, just like GLPs. We're not saying don't use them. We're just saying understand the dangers, understand that it's going to have to be a lifestyle change that goes along with that, and it's not something that you can prolong use. Just like, hey, listen, we're in a world now, we have amazing pain medications, oxycontin and everything else. They're not meant to be used forever. They're during that time when we are in extreme pain, and it's something hopefully that you can come off of due to getting healthier. But it also has that consequences that it's addictive, and there lies where you get hooked on that stuff. So um, you just need to be smart, you need to be educated, and you need to be disciplined. um, I don't give myself a pat on the back. I think it's just by the grace of God, I've just always been given discipline when it comes to pain medication. When I'm in a hospital, I'll scream and fight to be taken out of pain. I don't care where it's going to take me. But when I get home, I'm like, no, I got to come off of them. And I'll just rather deal with the pain and have my sane sanity instead of walking around hallucinating, thinking, freaking, I'm in la la land. But that takes discipline. It does. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that type of discipline. And I pray to God that I continue to have that type of discipline.
But at the same time, we do get it that, I mean, this could be a very effective, wonderful stepping stone to get the process
Sure.
started. Because I mean, we have different mindsets because I mean, obviously Flex is a completely different mindset because he was going for being one of the best in the world at it. But when you start that contest prep dieting phase, your favorite foods, I mean, you had to give up hamburgers, right? And how hard is, in
Oh
the grand scheme
man,
of things, it's
hamburger and
flip
pizza.
switch. That
Yeah,
first week is tough, but then you kind of get used to it.
sure, sure, sure.
But a lot of people can't do that. And those GLP-1s, at the very first thing, you do have to create a calorie deficit. So that's the hard part. So we can, that's where these drugs in the right doses, ramping up and then ramping you off of them fairly quickly can help. And then we implement you would need to implement those nutritional changes, hopefully for the long term. And we're not saying you're going to give up hamburgers, or I'm going to give up buffalo wings for the rest of our lives. We're obviously going to have those every so often.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of thing. But again, we can't just live off of what we lived off of, what this person might have lived off of before.
No, no, I use this analogy sometimes with my clients. It's like a thermostat in your house. You have
Hmm.
it set, and so when you're in shape, that thermostat works for you. When you even know that you're going to look at something, your mind is already like, man, I'm gonna have to do cardio tomorrow, because your thermostat is going to kick you back in to getting in shape. When you're out of shape, that thermostat actually causes you to eat foods. Every time you see a fast food, you notice it. Every time a commercial, a fast food commercial comes on, you notice those things, and it's trying to keep you in that mode of burning fat, and it's difficult. It is difficult. I mean, having to resist those foods that you like, because as human beings, we more so eat for a desired taste. When you're dieting, you're not eating for nutritional value. You're not eating for a desired taste. You're eating for nutritional value. But once you reach that look that you achieve, you can do whatever you want. You can diet 5 days a week and have the weekend off, but come Monday, you got to blast it to burn off that excess that you put on. There's your thermostat working for you. So it's not like you have to live a humdrum life, even though I know some people do. Like Stan, he still eats the same thing. He never drinks soda. He's always drinking water. I'm like, dude, how do you do that? And he reminds me, he's like, it's my life. It's normal. That's normal for him.
Mm.
So you have some people who are extreme like that, but you don't have to be that way. to achieve a good look. You just got to be disciplined and know when to push yourself away from the table.
Well, Stan's just kind of extreme on all levels anyway.
Yeah,
That's
man.
kind of a bad example.
Whether it's business, whether it's powerlifting, whether it's bodybuilding, yeah, he's the guy who's
It's
always in or
1,000%.
he's always out. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what we do with Prime, I mean, you'll see the ticker down at the bottom, Prime Mode MD. Obviously, if you want to go that route, we have physicians that are in our network, so they're gonna weigh the pros and cons of situations, and then they're in their realm of things. It's not a situation where we want you on, let's say, Wegovy for the rest of your life. So our plan is to utilize the right dosages in the beginning to help control your hunger issues, but then to pair that with our nutrition and lifestyle and weight lift and exercise programs to make sure that you change the stuff, all the variables outside of the drugs. So making sure you're looking at your food intake daily, when, how, preparation, all that kind of stuff, looking at your stress levels, and then adding in activity. And again, we're not talking about getting lifestyles like mine or Flex's where you're hitting the gym 6 days a week, where your phone starts to consider the gym your home spot when you type in locations. But it's something you're going to have to get in activity on a regular basis. And we might recommend something like you go canoeing on a regular basis or take your dog out walking
Yeah.
every single
Just
day.
walk in the
You're supposed
neighborhood.
to be doing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's picking up a sport, picking up a martial art, which he and Flex and I are very, very, enthralled with, that kind of stuff. But the lifestyle has to change. And what we're looking at is, might ramp you up a little bit off those beginning doses. And then the physicians will eventually, within 3 months to 6 months, ramp you down to the point where you're not on them anymore. Because now you have a little bit more of control of your dieting as far as your cravings and everything else. And we're giving you some options to work with there that are realistic and
Yeah.
not completely bland. We're not trying to give you a stand efforting kind of water and baked chicken lifestyle. If you look at our app, some of our recipes are pretty intricate that look
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. There's more than one way to skin a chicken, so there's more than one way to lose fat. Body weight. It's whether you want to do it healthily or whether you're not. And again, there's certain people I know that they need this. They're very obese or just hard for them to get started. It's no
Yep.
problem in that. But expecting to live a lifestyle where you're gonna stay on these type of drugs or expecting when you come off of these drugs that you're gonna remain that look without any discipline and proper nutrition, yeah, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Then you're going to end up back on the drug again. And there is where the health problems are going to start coming in.
Right. And we don't want you to look like a droopy skeleton when you take your clothes off after you lose all the weight either.
No, well, I don't want to be associated with that. At the end of the day, um, everybody that I'm associated with, whether it be with Prime Mode MD, whether it be with, my training app that's available on Apple and Android system, we actually really care. We actually really care what you look like. We want you to be a grandfather, a great grandmother, and still be healthy and be able to play with your kids. That's our ultimate goal. It isn't just to get you into shape because that's easy, just rip everything away from you and just make you go through hell. But that's not a desired thing that you'll be able to do for the rest of your life. So we're trying to teach you and train you that, you can be able to do this. You can eat certain foods when you want, as long as you're disciplined to go back and do some activity. And it doesn't matter. It can just be going out and playing with your kids,
Mhm.
going swimming, going and playing tennis, just getting out and walking. It can be any of those things, but you're going to have to add something if you're going to expect to live a healthy life, especially as you get up in age.
Well, that's another thing. We're not just a like a row or a certain politician rx.com kind of situation where we just sell you the substances because we keep a good track on you. And there's regular touch points with us as far as the experts go and Zoom calls and all that kind of stuff. But a couple of other things that come along with it, especially at the later ages that come along with obesity is hormone balance issues start coming along. So we start looking at, and for ladies, you go through the menopause situation where everything goes out of whack. So we start looking at For men, if testosterone needs to be something that we need to look at. For ladies, it could be estrogen and progesterone. But then, even past that, we look at some of the peptides that we saw, like, CJC 1295 or ipamorelin, or even a combination of the two, which actually has anti-aging properties in them. And there is research now. For the longest time, I was saying, yes, the peptide situation, it's all in the initial phases of research with transgenic mice and rodents in the situation. But now there is human studies that are being published. So it is peer reviewed, published in journals, and they're showing some really great anti-aging results with some of these peptides. So these are
Yeah.
things that we can start to put together in an overall program along with exercise and nutrition. And I
Yep.
think we came up with the marketing phrase the other day about aging powerfully.
Aging powerfully. Yeah. Or gliding. It's not falling. It's gliding gracefully, or descending gracefully. And I said this before, and this is something that we're going to go ahead and put into play. We're going to actually show my peptide profile that I'm going to start, and I'm going to reveal what I look like and how these peptides, along with flexible and nutrition, helps get me back into the best shape of my life. I'm 60, so I know things take time. So my goal is to just be in insane shape when I reach my 61 birthday, and we're just going to reveal all that, the peptides that I use, my different nutrition profile that I use from Flexible Nutrition, and I'm going to be the guinea pig to show you guys that it can be done.
And then we're talking August at this point now, so he's running out of time, or
Yes,
he's got a ticking clock.
yes, 100%. Yeah, and these old bone and muscles don't move too fast, so yeah, definitely, yeah. But let's change gear here and talk a little bit about that whole thing about working out and the various different ways to work out. I cannot work out the way that I used to, and I honestly don't consider myself working out anymore. I consider myself I exercise. There's a difference between training hard and exercising, and having someone to understand what the body needs and what it's capable of. We're going to give some video examples here.
Yeah. So first we're going to show is this was. I mean, you weren't a spring chicken in this video either, because this was
Yeah,
you were prepping for the IFBB show of the year,
yeah.
but this was your comeback. Oh, sorry. So we're showing flex on a single leg extension here. This was 2017.
Yeah, 2017. I love unilateral movements, man. I love it.
But I mean, obviously pretty basic, right? Flex has done this before. You've probably seen him do this on multiple videos. Kind of what we're getting into here, though, is we are changing our focus on who we're really marketing towards and working with. Obviously, not everybody is going to fit the category that Flex was right here, except everybody should be doing some kind of activity. But we get a lot of questions, right? Like, especially the people, we actually get a lot of questions from everybody. We have certain nuances and minutia that they want to discuss about their workouts. Things might not be coming along like they wanted to, or they just have questions in general. I mean, it's not something that most people devote their lives towards, is the gym, whereas
And
you
you
and I have.
guys, as a lot of you guys know, I have a new addition to the family. I have
Oh,
a European Doberman who's about 14 months now. So he's getting pissed that he's still stuck in a cage. So you might hear some feedback from him. Just
I
paying
haven't
him
heard
in
anything
mind.
yet.
Oh, really? You haven't heard? Oh my gosh,
Yeah, I
he's
haven't
getting
heard it.
loud there.
Maybe your microphones are doing their jobs.
Maybe.
But what we're trying to get across here, getting back to it, is even though Flex, I think you're too nice of a guy to say no if the right athlete comes along that wants some coaching for the show stage. But you've had some things go the wrong way with the last couple of people. Um, but you never know. But really, we're kind of going towards the guys and gals our age that are trying to find their way back to being that active self. So we know you're not getting ready for the stage. You're not necessarily even getting ready for a bikini contest or some, you're not ripping your shirt off in the middle of a corporate holiday party of any kind. But
Right.
we do know, and Flex does know how to modify movements and make it right for you. And in this case, I mean, Flex, for those who don't know your story, you have to really modify your leg movements because you
Of
have
my
an amputation below
amputation.
the knee. Right.
Right. Right.
So the exercise we just saw, I mean, you love unilateral. God help me, I know that for a fact. Um,
Yeah.
but now, I mean, obviously with your left leg, that's a kind of a slam dunk. That's how we do it. But you don't want to neglect your right leg either. Right.
Right.
So here's your modification. And we're actually going to see it from top to bottom. And there we are. We're going with the Black Santa for a little bit here.
Yeah. 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 I'm thinking about rocking back the beard, man. I'm getting tired of
Just for
shaving
Christmas.
every day.
So tell everybody what you're doing here to modify for this.
So this is actually like what people would use, women would use to do like um, butt extensions and stuff like that. So I took my prosthetic off and I hooked it up to my limb, my upper limb, because it's really tender at the lower. I'm just taking the Smith machine and using the bottom cable pull, hooking it up to the back of that, and I'm just kind of was thinking about it. It's like, how can I do leg extensions? And, I kind of angle myself, lower my knee, and I angle myself where, um, basically the thigh is still doing that movement. And here I'm trying to adjust myself to where it actually hits the lower leg anymore. And what I found out is I actually have to take the entire sleeve off. You'll see later videos where I take my entire sleeve off because that strap that I'm using is meant to go around an ankle, not a limb,
Mhm.
and my limb is actually too big, and I can't find any that are bigger. So what I do now is I actually take off the sleeve, which is a thickness of that protects my leg when it goes to the prosthetic. But yeah, I still got to work my right leg. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
atrophied over the years and stuff like that, and it's a necessity.
Yeah. And I've seen you do like the regular seated leg curl, leg extension.
Yeah,
What
yeah, I've tried them
prosthesis?
before, and it's just extremely painful. Because
Right.
when you're doing it leg extensions, it's the pressure is down at your lower ankles, or right above your ankles. So being that there's nothing there but my prosthetic, it just it creates a tremendous downforce on my upper leg, and it's just extremely painful. So really sucks that there's actually no equipment out there for amputees. And I know other amputees go through the same thing. There's a young lady that has IFBB Pro, and she has one arm, and she does the
Mhm.
same thing, which is figured out and does all her benching and stuff like that. So
Yeah, she's I mean, obviously I mean, this isn't applying this to the general public is, kind of hit or miss how that would work out. But I believe her Marissa, was that her name?
yeah, yeah, we met her at a show. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
If you think about some other, I mean, I think she said she actually had to self-invent a lot of products just to
yeah,
get her
she did.
workouts.
Yeah, yeah,
But if you
and
think
and like
about,
I said, I was trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out the angle, the
yeah,
leverage, and it kept popping off until I figured out, wow, I got to take my complete sleeve off because again, the ankle is
right.
very small circumference compared to a limb.
But how many? I mean, you probably know the exact numbers. How many below the knee amputees are there in the United States now?
Um, it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's
It's a lot because of
it's enough
diabetics.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very significant amount. There's a lot because of just health reason, and then from the military,
yeah.
there's a lot. Yeah, there's
But enough to where
absolutely a
this is
lot.
not unsubstantial number of people that could help. But even
Yeah,
like with Marissa's situation, where she had to come up with a lot of straps like that, either for above her elbow or something she put on her prosthesis. You have a lot of people that might have a broken hand or broken bone that they have to work. They want to stay active during that. Or
yeah,
I saw a guy at my gym. He's a nurse actually, so it kind of fits it. he actually had carpal tunnel surgery done on each hand, within a month of each other. But he used a lot of those same ideas and put cuffs around his wrist rather than putting it in his hand with a grip to do pull downs and
Right.
extensions and stuff. So I mean, being able to make those adjustments. I mean, obviously, it takes you or another IFBB pro. I believe she's a trainer anyway, right? That's what she does for a
Yeah.
living, or
Yeah.
a orthopedic nurse to come up with these ideas for the general public to utilize, or someone who just has issues with, or they can't afford to get the carpal tunnel surgery done, but they have no grip strength.
Yeah. 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 At the end of the day, like we were saying earlier, just about dieting, you have to be disciplined, and if there's a will, there's a way. You're going to figure it out. You're going to try to find it out through trial and error. So that's still, something that I'm doing now. Training with my daughter yesterday, just doing leg press. I mean, there's like a cushion before my prosthetic hits my actual residual limb. So obviously doing leg press, it's just, so, I mean, yeah, it's freaking painful. I mean, just imagine just bottoming out just, your limb, and there's nothing there. So in doing that, but it's like it's something I got to do because I got to maintain some type of muscularity in my right leg.
Well, that's it kind of factors into both now, because I mean, the mindset, you have to get out there and you have to do something and stay active. One of the things that always bothered me going, melding this together, the GLP-1 medications, is one of the health factors that comes into play with people who are at the end of life for either, age or severe illness like cancer. I had to watch both my aunt, my father, and my grandmother pass away from various reasons. My grandmother, because she was 105, so she was just older, obviously. Both my aunt and my father from cancer. Towards the end, one of the few factors that came right out, hit us straight in the head, was they were not eating. They stopped eating because they just weren't hungry anymore. And that was one of the signs that every physician said points towards end of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing. What happens when we just talked about, we're both dog owners also. You're a multiple dog owner
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
ours are all fairly young at this point, but if you've ever had an older dog when it's getting towards the end of life, was one of the two things you see: loss of hunger and loss of activity. They just stop moving as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And that's the point where, the life is leaving them. That's something that you can fight off with these two situations. Is activity is one of the few things where you can, I think, it's anti-aging to a certain extent.
So this is my training partner, my little pro that you guys seen in my videos and at the
They'll be
Olympia
leaving
and
right after
everything.
this.
Yeah, so we're going right after this. What are we going to train today?
Back.
Okay, back. So we're going to be doing back. So,
Choice.
yep. Just want to. She's down for Thanksgiving, so I get to enjoy her company, and my son Darius will be here tomorrow.
Good.
And so it's our first time meeting Mr. Teeth, Zeus. Is he out of mouth?
You want to say hi?
Yeah, he's constantly on 10. Oh my gosh,
He's a puppy.
his energy level is off the chain.
Oh,
Achilles got some.
we ended up having an
Huh?
earthquake this morning.
What?
We had a little earthquake this morning, so our 100-pound puppy was basically clawing at the doors. There he is.
There he is. There's
Look at the
Zeus.
size of those paws.
Oh my gosh, dude, really? Look at those things. And he's only 14 weeks. 14 weeks.
3 months.
Yeah, look at those things. He's going to be a big boy. I think in 8 more weeks he'll be almost 100 pounds.
Wow.
So yeah, and he's just hyper active and all teeth. Huh? Zeus. All right, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, multiple dog owner. That's just different. He brings a different energy to the life. So shout out to my boy European Doberman for getting me him and a lot of bills. Greatly appreciate you guys. All right, sweetheart.
Yeah, because Achilles is pretty much narcoleptic most of the time.
Oh, he's just, yeah. He
He's
just,
chill.
Zeus, even right now, he's just constantly biting on him. He just, you'll hear him growl like to get away, but that'd be about
Play
it.
with me.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Zeus, give him a break.
That's all he's doing now.
It's just follows one and nicks and bites at his ears and his back and jumps on his back. Just nonstop. Nonstop. Yeah. But when I got him, they said, which one you want? And they said, hey, listen, the one they call him Red because they just had collars on him. He's super active. He's the most active one. I'm like, oh, I'll get
Oh,
him, and yeah, he is super active. Super active, but I love it. Oh my gosh. Are you trying to crap on a carpet right now, dude?
oh boy.
Zeus. Oh no, he's just sitting there. All right. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the gym and get a back workout in. You guys again, please like, subscribe, follow, ask us any questions, any special guests that you guys want us to get in. There's another episode of Flex for Life with my co-host Greg and Zeus and Achilles and my daughter Pearl.
Yep.
You guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. God bless you all.